Okay, so today I want to riff on one of my favorite principles of adventure, and that's called recovering the power position. So as with all great lessons in life, this one comes from skiing, and I'm 5 knee surgeries in. Yes, I still ski. Yes, I still love it. And what I noticed a few years ago was that when I'm skiing, I have somehow trained myself that when I get kicked off balance, the first thing I do is I squat, and then I fight with everything I have to like punch, do whatever I can so that I end up in a squat, shoulders down the fault line, right? And generally speaking, I can recover most things, right? Because this is, the stable position. And like with regard to ACL, you have to have an extended knee and then a twist. And so if I, recover in a squat all the time, then I'm going to be as protective of my ACL as possible. And if I'm going to roll, I'm going to be way better in that orientation. But 9 times out of 10, you can recover it when you're in that position. So last summer, I was riding my mountain bike, downhill biking to Alyeska, and I asked a better rider, like, what do I need to do to be better? And he's like, you need to be more forward on your bike. And I was like, really? Okay, fine. So I go and I practice being more forward on my bike. And I noticed, I have more braking authority on the front brake, where most of your braking authority comes from anyways. I've got more agency because my center of gravity is more over the center of gravity bike. And I noticed it like permeate through all of my riding. But I noticed that every time I got afraid, I would go in the back seat. So my fear position was still in the back seat. And so without thinking, I then went back to Alyeska the next day and taught myself to recover forward. And so that when I got kicked or when I got afraid of my bike, I trained myself to have the intuition to lean into it, to lean forward, to get to that, what I ultimately realized I'm calling the power position, to get back to the power position. So when I get kicked in skiing, the first thing I do is get here. Like, there's the power position, right? From here, I have the most chance in hell of recovering it. And then on my bike, same thing. It's forward. It's in that power position where I have agency over the bike. And so shortly thereafter, as I was realizing this, I got kicked by life. And I was like, okay, what's the analogy? How do you recover in the power position? And what I realized is, at that time, for me, the power position meant in the integrity of your body, pointed at all you hold dear. And so like that night, I actually just went dancing. I just moved, right? Like in the integrity of my body, like connected to myself, pointed at all I hold dear, which, people, my community, the mountains, everything I care about, right? Just orient toward everything you hold dear. And so for me in life, that's the power position. So what is it organizationally? I would say in the integrity of your team, pointed at your value proposition. Although I was coaching somebody today, and we realized for him, it was because his inclination when he gets nervous, or when things get kicked, not nervous, when things get kicked, when something happens, his inclination is to feel like he has to do it all himself and take the world of the shoulder, protect his team, everything else, absorb it. But really, in his case, the power position is lean into your team, because what the team wants is to help solve the problem collaboratively, to be a part of it, to understand what's going on. And so again, the analogy works, right? Like our intuition when we get afraid. So he's working on collaborating more with his team. It's going super well. But then when he gets kicked, when something happens, or squeezed, in his words, what he does is he goes back. He feels like he has to do it all himself. And so the power position then is to lean into the team, to rely on people, to bring them in, to solve collaboratively, and to just do it together, which is more fun. The team feels more included. The ideas come forth, and the problem can be better navigated. And it's kind of good for all seasons. So this is quickly becoming one of my favorite, and no pun intended, most powerful principles of adventure. Try it on. Let me know what you think.